anyone ever feel like this is where they want to park when they get to campus because they're so frustrated with the lack of spots and how parking goes, especially during the day? Well, I know I am. Especially when you're in a rush and trying to get in and out of your building, maybe get change, grab something. It's really hard to find parking, and parking in the fire lane is actually forbidden technically. I know a lot of us do it, but it's frowned upon. This is an example of a faculty lot. This isn't one of our lots, however, at night this is very similar to what our lots look like. Most faculty aren't here after 6 p.m. There is like exceptions for that, such as night class faculty who teach night classes, and then there's also the staff and things like that, like public safety and facilities and SAGA employees. Most of those employees do have designated lots where they are allowed to park, such as public safety. They do park over by their main building, and then they use their patrol cars, similar to the facilities workers. They all park over there and they have their designated spots. But faculty does have these designated lots where no one else is allowed to park. I don't know if you're aware that faculty is allowed to park any spot on campus, which is a privilege for them, which they rightfully earned due to the fact that they are employed here and it's one of the perks of the job. The prime spots given to faculty are usually located directly next to the entrances, such as by Sienna Hall, right behind Heinz Hall, which is like where the Research Institute is, and near Padua Hall. They're the best spots, and they're actually getting wasted on nights and on the weekends. 20 to 25% of women who have experienced an attempted rape or a completed rape in their college career. I don't know about you, but that makes me nervous walking in my car at night. One of the biggest issues for me was when I didn't have any issues, don't worry, but when I received the emails at the beginning of school that there were numerous sexual assaults, that did not make me feel comfortable whatsoever. We do have a great public safety staff on campus that does a great job patrolling and keeping the gates closed and things like that to keep our students safe. But that doesn't stop everybody from getting in. It does stop the vehicles. However, most of the time people can just walk on campus through like the trees where there aren't patrol people, and there's not cameras on every inch of campus because that's nearly impossible. But there are cameras just on the entrance and exits. One of the areas where it's highly traveled is the walkway in between Padua Hall and Heinz parking lot. That I live in resident of Padua Hall, and oftentimes we are forced to park in Heinz, which isn't a far walk. That's not the problem. The problem is that there's barely any lighting against the building or on the road. There's 3 options to travel through there, and right here is the side of the building where you walk, and during the day it's perfectly fine, there's no problems, it's well lit. But at night, I know personally, like a lot of students do work off campus and are involved in activities off campus, and when they come back at night and there's no lighting, I'm extremely uncomfortable walking next to that building just because there is 0 lighting, there are no cameras, and oftentimes there's nobody around if something were to happen. Also, I have fallen because I'm pretty clumsy and there's tree branches and it's just not safe. Sienna does a great job of clearing the pathways and keeping everything clean. Like the facilities crew is always out there with like salt and things to keep the ice away. But my question is, are they going to plow that walkway to keep it open for students to use during the winter? If it's not open, the other alternatives to go through Heinz Hall, and Heinz Hall is a great alternative. However, after 1 a.m., if you're not a resident, you're not allowed, you can't swipe into that building. Also, the other alternative is to walk on the street, which is fine also. However, that's also a heavy traffic street where a lot of people go through. And when you're on that street, there's no sidewalks, and there's also limited lighting, which is also dangerous. Oops. Students pay $75 a year for their parking permits, which actually is pretty reasonable compared to a lot of campuses nationwide. So there's no issue with that. And the staff does have the priority parking. However, when staff is parking in the residence lot, like this picture right here, you can see how they have their staff or faculty permit, and then they're in the resident-only parking lot. They are technically allowed to park there. I just think it's a little inconsiderate of the staff to not recognize that the students are a priority also, and that they are busy and in just as a hurry as they are. I actually just received, I don't know if you received it too, an email from the Paddle Hall residents that they're actually trying to get a walkway built in between that building and also get more lighting. I was actually really impressed with that. I researched that yesterday, and I thought they were on the same page as me. Let me tell you a short clip. This was done by a small college, and this guy's pretty interesting, but they kind of...
Video, and then we'll go through and interview the students. What'd you think about the piece? Is that fair?
I don't think that's fair at all, actually. Driving around the parking lot all the time, there are plenty of spaces for staff to park, and they're always up front, as close as you can get to the classes. I don't know why they would bother having staff designated parking if they're not going to use it.
That's pretty much what everybody else says. He interviews a couple more people. Pretty much the parking is a convenience for us, and it is a luxury for us to be able to have our cars here. However, that luxury is given to us, so therefore I feel like we should be given the right amenities to use it, such as like faculty has all these luxuries of using their faculty lots and their designated spots, and when they're not here, such as evenings and weekends, when most faculty aren't here, I think that we should be able to park in their spots. I think there should be one parking lot, which is in front of Sienna Hall, that should be designated for faculty and staff only, where nobody can park, just because there are a lot of faculty members that do come in on the weekends and do a lot of work just like we do, and we're not the only ones working hard. However, they do need to recognize, especially when they park in our spots, that it's greatly inconveniencing us, especially like when I come back from work at 2 o'clock and I have a 2:30 class, I'm trying to rush to my room and get ready, and when there's spots taken up by faculty, I know that that doesn't make me very happy. And then I know that there's also many students who are just coming and going a lot and not being able to just find a quick spot and having to spend pretty much 20 minutes worrying about parking and walking back and forth when they're building their parking is a big inconvenience. In conclusion, students should be allowed to park in any spots between the hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. because pretty much that's used for like short-term parking. If you're coming just for a few hours or if you're planning on leaving, it's just a lot easier. Also, during the weekends, I think parking should be pretty much unlimited, minus that's parking lot in front of Sienna Hall. And staff should also be penalized for parking in residence parking. I'm not saying they should be fined the $27 that we get fined. However, a written citation might make them think twice about the next time they want to park in our spots. And if everyone parked accordingly, I think things would run a lot smoother, and that includes commuter students. I think a lot of times they're parking in the resident lots also, and that's putting a hiccup in when residents are trying to park, and that's unfair also. Any questions?
Isn't community and resident parking the same?
No, I don't think so. I heard
No.
that there's a commuter lot, and it's over by, I think, Roger Bacon. Any others? Yeah?
Why'd you take it so easy on faculty and staff?
Because I don't want to offend anybody.
I am so heartily in agreement with you. First of all, if you teach management or marketing, you understand that your customers should come first, okay? So faculty should truck it in. They should have a bus for
Right.
faculty.
Park across the street.
I mean, not maybe not literally, but, you know, you really need to have an issue. Faculty's complaint is that most of these spots are taken by staff who are there from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. When I was teaching in Siena Hall all day and having to go back to my office, I would always walk back to Colvin. I couldn't repark my car. It's easy, 8 o'clock in the morning, plenty of space, okay, like you said, nobody's doing anything with it.
And that goes back to where if everyone parks where they should, things will go better. Like, I know a lot of the Saga employees, I've personally seen them parking pretty much wherever they want. And that's not right, because they have a little lot, and there are more employees that will fit in the lot, but a lot of them are packed parking, like Padua Hall parking lot, and that's just throwing a lot of things off also.
Where'd you get the video?
Just from YouTube. I tried to find out what college it was from, but I couldn't really figure it out.
Okay. It's endemic of the problem.
Yeah.
Certainly get it. I'm a little confused by the lighting. I mean, I know that having to walk and having poor lighting is a difficult situation.
Through, like where you walk, like the picture I can show you again. Right there. Like that's pretty much where most people walk, is adjacent to Heinz from their Heinz lot towards down campus towards like Padua or Hennepin or anything. And there's like a lot of trees there and there's no lighting. So like during the winter, I'm concerned about whether they're gonna plow it or not or do anything about like clearing that. And like today, it's probably a mud pit, so that's just gonna not be good. I don't wanna walk in mud.
Well, the issues, I think, I mean, if the lighting is a concern, I think that's an issue that if the students really got together on it, could address it. I think
Yeah.
generally, I thought we were pretty well lit on campus overall. But if it's not where you're supposed to be, then, you know, because you can't, you know, it's not paved, so therefore it's dangerous, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly, so that's why the alternatives are walking through the building or the road, but even on the road, there's not that much lighting over there. And it's a high traffic spot for people to be going through and like whipping around with their cars pretty much. I know I'm guilty of it all the time. So if a lot of people are walking through there, they're just gonna get hit.
Thank you very much.